I can't believe we have finally managed to get this together.
Yeah.
And I want to thank Susan for handling the doodle poll, which I don't know how to do. And it was still crazy for her, but she kept on top of it. So thank you, Susan.
She didn't quit.
So I'd like to call the meeting to order at 7:30. And we should say a pledge of allegiance, I guess, if we have our flag.
No, we do.
Yes.
We actually do.
Right.
Yes.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the
And to the
republic
republic for which it stands,
one
one nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we don't have an agenda, so we don't have to worry about approving it. We know what we're here for tonight, and that is to vote on the union contract. And secondly, Amanda wants us to vote on the annual report for the state, because we need to do that. So I assume that everyone has read the contract, the changes to it as they are. And would somebody make a motion?
I make a motion that we accept the contract as presented for the term of 2024 through 2027, or 2026, excuse me. 24, 25, 26.
Okay, do we have a second?
Through 26.
26. John seconded.
Who seconded?
John.
I did.
John, okay, I
Oh,
see
you
your
can't
hand,
see it.
John. Don't see your face. Okay,
John.
so discussion. Netta brought up a point. Maybe we need to elaborate on that.
About Sundays, about the rotation on Sundays. When we had presented that as a point, they all took a vote and decided they did not want to change the way Sundays were rotated. They took a collective vote and they decided that that wasn't an.
And as a committee, we demanded that it be brought to the membership directly because
Yeah.
we were unsatisfied at first
Yes,
that we felt that the decision was being left in the hands of only certain individuals. So we asked that it be brought for a full vote, and it came back from the full vote that this was not something that wanted to be adjusted.
Well, then
And
that's
since-
the way it goes.
Yeah.
Yes. After all, it is the staff's contract, and if that's the way they want it, then and it has no impact on.
But what I will say is we did have a chance to sit down with their leadership from the union and from their union rep. And we all level set what our intentions with the ask was and why their rationale
right.
against it. So I
Yeah.
think, it was a good productive conversation.
Yeah.
So.
All right,
Yep.
if there is no more discussion, then I'd like to ask for a vote. All those in favor of the union contract, please raise your hands. Those who can vote, is it a unanimous?
Yes.
It is, all right, well, I vote for it even though it doesn't count. Netta?
Yeah, I approve.
All right, so everyone approves of the vote. It's unanimous. Thank you very much. I'm sure that the staff will be thrilled to finally get their raises,
Yeah,
which
really.
is why we made such an effort to get this meeting off the ground so that they would have the raises before the next pay period. The second thing is the annual report. Could I have a motion to pass that? To vote on the annual report? Would somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Carol? All right, word it.
That the board, resolutions that the board would approve the 2023 annual report as presented to Ramapo Catskill Library System and the State Library.
Very good. Second?
I'll second.
All right, Casey seconds. Discussion?
Just a lot of work. Good job. Yeah, it's a
Can
lot
you
of
repeat
work.
the motion again? I just didn't get it.
I don't know if I can.
Motion to accept the
2023.
annual report to be submitted to the RCLS.
It was submitted already, right? to
Yes,
us,
it
but
was
yeah.
submitted.
And they submitted to the state
Fine.
Mhm.
or state development, I should say,
Mhm.
state library development.
I just like to make a comment after reading it through that they do ask if you have adaptive technology, and I know that's something that Amanda wanted to incorporate into library services. Amanda, would you like to speak to that? I think it's an important aspect of it that we don't cover.
Yeah, it's something that's built into the long range plan to look to get assistive technology. It's something that we met with the high school last year. We have a list together and we are going to pursue costs on that and then potentially build it into our budget in the years leading up to the last year of the long range plan, and also look for opportunities to see if we can get any grants for some of those assistive technologies, like screen readers and different types of machines that they had recommended that are being used at the high school level. So it's in the works. It's just, you know, it's part of a long range plan. It's not part of a
Right.
10-year plan. So it's going to take time.
Currently, are there any patrons who come in looking for those services whose needs aren't being met?
No, but we did hear a lot from the senior center that there are some patrons who secretively use it in the basement. Because it's like an embarrassment thing where they magnify the
Yeah.
newspaper.
Mhm.
And one of the things that I talked to when I met with someone who does the technology at the high school, she says the best thing to do is to have that equipment around so that people, it kind of destigmatizes it, normalizes it a little bit so they don't feel so embarrassed. You know, it's a little less clunkier than what they have at the senior center. So hopefully, you know, we can encourage other patrons to use it as well.
I think Mary's cat had something to say.
I'm sorry. Yes, he does. I have something to add though. Of course, our website, you can change the size of the font, and that used to be, that would fulfill our adaptive technology requirement because we allowed, our website allowed people with visual deficiency to change the font size.
Yes, on the website, there's this little handicap circle at the bottom right corner. It's a layer that we added on where it increases the size. It changes the color contrast to help people who have low vision issues. So yeah, so it's definitely great for those who are viewing our website, but there's definitely more that we can be doing to support the community, for sure.
Definitely. And we also do have the talking books available to anybody who comes in. It's from the American, what is it called exactly? Something with the Blind Association, and anyone.
Is it the Lighthouse?
No, it's
Not
like
the
American
Lighthouse.
Braille, like New York State Braille Library, something like
Yeah,
that.
it's New York State, but it's called Talking Braille something. It looks almost like a tape recorder or a CD player. And that's available. So we do have a little something in the building, should anybody ask.
I have.
That's good to know.
I have a
Okay,
Braille-
any other
but
remarks, John?
I have a Braille book for astronomy
Mhm.
that I'd be glad to donate to the library.
Well, I think I need to point out that not everybody who is vision impaired can read Braille.
Correct.
But there are people who do read Braille.
There are people who do, but I don't think it's especially if somebody has lost their vision during their lifetime, the chances of them reading Braille are lower because my understanding is that Braille is really difficult to read, to learn.
Interesting.
Well, I had
Yes.
an aunt who lost her vision through macular degeneration,
Yeah.
and she was a huge reader.
Hmm.
So I heard a lot about this stuff.
Okay.
Yes, I
The
had an
board
aunt.
thanks John for his fine
Yes.
donation.
Yeah, yes, we're not discouraging you, John, at all.
Well, I'm taking my book back.
You can read it by yourself.
Okay, all those in favor of the annual report as presented to the board, please raise your hands. Those that count. Thank you very much, Netta.
Well, then you went and asked me before, so yep.
No, I know.
Well, the vote
Is
is
that,
awesome, correct?
Yes, correct.
is it unanimous?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So the annual report has been presented to the Monroe Free Library Board of Trustees, and it has been approved.
Thank you.
And if there is no more business, I think we could adjourn if we had a vote. Anything, anybody else wants to bring up?
So 7,
Or do you-
Hang on a minute.
The shortest-
Everybody wants to
Pat,
get
was that
out
a-
of there.
Was that a motion to adjourn? Or no?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Who seconds? Susan seconds? All in favor?
Gee, I wonder if
All
this will
in
be unanimous.
Unanimous.
Good night, you guys.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
everyone, for finally helping us pull this off.
Don't
Order to